Alright, today we've got this hot water tap, and what it is, it's very hard to turn off. Like you really gotta, the washer's completely gone in it, and you really gotta tighten it right up. It's really stiff in here too. And when you go, it shouldn't be this tight to turn off yet. Alright, so we coming outside here to the hot water cylinder. And to explain how the hot water cylinder works, this pipe here, what you see that runs down the drain, that's your overflow. That's just a pressure relief valve. This pipe coming out here, which has got outlet on there, that's actually hot water that goes inside the house. And this is your hot water. This pipe here, which is your cold water, which comes from your front water meter, it goes in the hot water cylinder. To turn this off, you got to turn this valve off here, and this is how you turn your hot water off. So what you do is you come out, you undo your hot water valve, make sure you turn it off properly. So now we've got no hot water. So what I'll do is I'll take you back into the bathroom, and I'll show you the next step, changing the washer. Alright, so to change, now we've turned the valve off outside for the hot water. So we've got no more hot water coming out. Oops, make sure I get this. Right, sorry about that. So we've got no hot water coming out now. Now, if you wanted to, I'll just turn that back off. If you want to do your cold, we've still got the cold water because we haven't turned the water meter off out your front of your house. So this you can only turn the hot water off by your hot water cylinder. If you want to turn your cold off, you have to go and turn the valve off. Like I just turned the hot water off at the cylinder because it's easier. If I went out and turned the water off out the front, we'd have no water pressure. But that's how you turn your cold water off. There's every house has got a water meter out the front of your boundary. So the pipe comes off a main water pipe and it goes through a meter, and you got a green cogwheel, which I could show you that, but that's not about that. We want to change this tap washer here. So I've got myself already some tap washers. They're brass ones, these. I'll give you a look at them. Now you can get plastic washers and all that. Give you a look at the, even shows you how to install them. But anyone can do this from home. You don't need to be a plumber. So the first step is you'll need a shifter. I've got myself a pair of mouldy grips. And I've got myself a wire brush, because just in case it's real dirty, and I've got myself a bigger shifter too. This shifter's what size is the shifter? 250mm shifter, so I can get plenty of leverage on it, because I do have a small one here. So the first step is we're going to undo the top lock nut on the handle, and you also need to get some clean rags too. So once we take the handle top lock nut off, just sit that to the side, on the side of the basin. We pull the handle off, and we can sit that in the side of the basin, just off to the side. And we need to make sure we've got a rag. I've got a rag here. Make sure you've got a clean rag too. And make sure you set all your tools on a clean rag. I've got my tools on the side, you can't see them, but they're on the side of the bench here. I'll give you a look, I'll show you the tools. I've got my tools sitting on the side here with a rag, and that's where I've been sitting the tap fittings. Alright, now our next step, I'll give you a close up actually, because I can do this with one hand. Now this might be very tight to get off, so if you want to, you can get a pair of vice grips and just squeeze on the top of it to lock it in, because this gets it gets water and trash in the top of it here, and that can also go on the thread, as you've seen there. You've seen all that crap come out. I really should have had, I've got a rag here to clean it, but what I should have done is, I should have had the rag out of the way first. When it released that stuff, all that grime, it's just like gouging sort of crap with it. Got one here, we need to put it on this thread. Just move that to the back. And what we need to do is hold, make sure you got the tap. Bloody tap wants to move with it. The reason why the tap's a bit loose is that under this hand basin got dirty crap on my hands, and that's why it's always good if you got the, like I got my rag here, it's always good if you got the cold water running, because you can wash your stuff out as you're making a mess. As you can see, it can be quite messy, but it's also nice to, like obviously if you're doing the cold water and you've already got it turned off, you can't do this. You can't have it running, because I'm doing the hot. I've got plenty of clean rags and that here. So what I'll do is I'll undo this, and this is where our washer sits. This whole piece of the tap will come out. And what we need to do is we need to wash this off. All that grime and stuff in the handle. Got to clean that up. The grime gets in here everywhere, in the threads of it and that, where the plunger is. Alright, just set that to the side. Now what I should have done is I should have already got my washer out of my packet. So what I'll do is I'll just slip one of them washers out, because we don't want the washers to go everywhere. I want to leave the rest in the pack, like that. And this is a close-up of the washer. And that's the washer it coming out of it. You can get different types of washers. I don't like these washers. They, when people turn the taps off a bit tight, like the washer goes and you're doing the tap up tighter each time, and it gets worse over time, and you're doing the tap up that tight, you nearly need a shifter or a pipe wrench just to keep tightening up. When you get like that, that's time to change your washer. And also to prevent your tap washers from getting ruined, is that you don't do up the taps too tight. There's no need to do the tap up, so you know you're going to bust it off. Like, 'cause that just wrecks them. So what we do is we set our washer in there. Our washer goes in here, which you just set it back into the, you can just set your washer in here like this. It's got a sealing surface there. Just set your washer back in. I'll give you a close up of that. That's where your washer sits in. On that round ring what you see in there that goes around, well that's what this part here seals. So you just drop that in and it sits on that round ring. Then you got your handle. It goes on there. And then all you do then is tighten it up. You can make sure your handle's undone a bit. What you need to do then, after you've tightened it up, is grab your shifter. Tighten it up like that, that's plenty. You don't need to go, you know, extreme with it. And also, make sure you give it a clean up too of it. Just like that. And already you'll wash this out with water, which was already good, because a lot of that muck and stuff that was in there is already gone. Got a bit of a stain or a build up. You can just it's more or less calcium build up on there. It's got a little bit on it. You don't have to do these up tight, them covers or anything. What you do then is you put your handle back on. I'll wind the handle down a little bit because until I feel it where it turns off, and then we get the hot water little hex nut, you call it. This is what stops the handle. If this loosens off, what happens is it loosens off, the handle flops around. It's not a good tight fit. They will work themselves loose all the time, these too. Just, you can get a shifter and just slowly, just carefully, when you go to do them up, you don't have to do them up tight, just a little bit, because you can strip them. Make sure my handle turns nice and free. What you do after you've clean up, you get your rag, what you've had in the sink, throw that in your waste basket, the washer, what you've had, what you've taken out, you throw that out too, because that's no good. That's just a cheap ass washer in there. That's why I've got these all brass ones. And I'll go and turn the hot water tap on, the hot water cylinder I mean, just by that valve out there, what you seen me at the start of the video. I'll go and turn that on. Alright, I've just went and turned the hot water valve back on. Just by that valve, what you've seen it outside there. Make sure you clean it up. You want to look professional when you do this sort of stuff. Don't go look at that, how easy it turns off. That's what we want. We want to make it look like you're a real professional when you do stuff. You know, take pride in your work, what you do. Don't just go leaving it, you know, filthy dirty. Make sure you clean all that up. Doing it. But these are more hard. These washers here, because they're mostly all brass, they've only got that little sealing on the bottom, on the end of them. They can be a little bit tighter to turn off, these ones. But I've always found they outlast all the other garbage. So you do your hot water one, and you can also do that with your shower too, or any other taps you got in your house that are leaking or hard to turn off. You can go around and you can change washers. Never go undoing the cold water tap and taking that washer out or cracking or anything without turning the actual water mains off. Because that water, if you crack this and you don't turn your water mains off, you're going to have a hell of a mess in your house. So yeah, just keep that in mind. And I'll show you where the water mains is. I'll give you a quick view of that. I'll add that in the end of the video. Change the washer, it's nice and quick. Anyone can change the washers. You only need tools. All you need is a shifter. You can do all this with just one shifter. You don't need multiple shifters or vice grips or anything. And yeah, you can fix that up nice and quick. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, comment, and have a great day. And for people who don't know, this is where your water meter is. That's how you turn off your water to your house. And they're always out the front.